If you're a revenue or marketing leader at a software company, you've probably heard of the term go-to-market engineer. I'm here to tell you all about it. What is a go-to-market engineer? These folks are system thinkers. They're AI-forward individuals that are being brought into revenue teams of software companies of all sizes to fix problems. Could be an outbound problem, could be a pipeline problem, could be a revenue problem, could be figuring out ways to make the sales team more effective by integrating different tools to make their lives easier. Discovery call prep, demo training, post-call follow-ups. Really, the term go-to-market engineer is so wide right now where it's just an individual that's here to save time and money within your organization. What does a go-to-market engineer actually do? Luckily, we've hired about 20 for our customers over the last 12 months. And there's no playbooks yet of this type of go-to-market engineer does this specific function. They're problem solvers. So we have one customer that we're working with that's trying to automate their entire outbound program. So now their internal SDR teams don't even send emails anymore. The whole concept of do more with less, where you bring in this go-to-market engineer and you're able to maintain the SDR or sales headcount that you currently have without increasing to increase the amount of pipeline and revenue that you're looking to drive. We have other customers that are really just on the forefront of building out their own internal AI center of excellence, which reminds me of the MarTech Center of Excellences that we've been building for the last 7 years. They're platform and tech owners over Clay, over Make, over N8N, over Zapier, over a lot of these functions that ensure all of your systems are talking to each other and integrating so that you can scale these different approaches. Where did this term come from? The term go-to-market engineer reminds me of my time at Adobe. So not sure if you knew, but I was an enterprise sales rep at Marketo. I left after the Adobe acquisition to start the first Marketo recruiting agency. This is 7 years ago now. When I first started the business, the term marketing operations was just getting going. Previously, it was marketing automation manager, and they managed the marketing automation platform, HubSpot, Marketo, Pardot, Eloqua. Fast forward to a few years later, the term account-based marketing was born. Companies like 6sense and Demandbase really coined that phrase, but let's be honest, companies have been running account-based marketing programs for the last 20 years. That job title, as we know, is demand gen or campaign management or just plain old digital marketing. So this term, go-to-market engineer, literally just came out of left field, where it's the intersection between marketing operations, account-based marketing, and revenue operations. How do you find a go-to-market engineer? First off, good luck. Honestly, finding a needle in the haystack. But before you think about how do I start looking for this individual, you really need to start thinking about what am I trying to accomplish with this hire. I wrote a blog post a couple months ago that talks about the 3 different types of GTME profiles that we're seeing in the market. Number 1, former SDR, current SDR that's always really been systems oriented, that took crash courses on AI platforms like Claude and Clay. Number 2, which is typically the most typical profile that we see, it's marketing ops or RevOps background that has taken a liking to the new AI automation that's happening within go-to-market. And then the third profile, which is typically the most tough profile to find and typically saved for probably a little bit later stage organizations, it's the Python developer that sits under marketing. We get asked all the time, what do you recommend for an interview process? And it's still so early on in companies hiring their first go-to-market engineer that there's no playbook, right? CROs and CMOs and head of sales and CEOs, they've hired tons of AEs and SDRs and marketing folks internally that they know how to evaluate good versus bad. The issue right now that we're seeing within go-to-market engineering is that there's no process. So what we're recommending to a lot of our customers is to bring tests into the process. Take the concept that you're looking to accomplish and then test based on experience of bringing that knowledge somewhere else into the organization that they're potentially going to be joining. Where they're reporting to in organizations, it's typically based on company size. So typically we're seeing Series A, Series B, Series C organizations where they're reporting into the head of sales, the head of marketing, or the CEO as like almost like a AI center of excellence internally. A lot of our later stage organizations, the Series D all the way to public, are starting to build out their own AI innovation centers where there's a leader over that group that was probably a former software engineer, current software engineer, probably a former founder that just knows how to figure it out.
So why is everyone talking about a GTME?
And if you have logged on to LinkedIn over the last 6 months, that's all you're seeing right now. Companies like Clay coined the term go-to-market engineering, and what I think the main reason why companies and everybody's talking about it, it's because everyone's trying to do more with less. Everyone's trying to bring AI into their business where they're trying to be leaner. You know, what pre-COVID, post-COVID, companies had infinite budget and headcount to bring in talent to accomplish their revenue goals. It's 2026. You don't have the same luxury. It's all about being lean, driving the same ROI and results with much less people. Hiring a go-to-market engineer can help you accomplish that. We got into go-to-market engineering recruiting about 12 months ago, and to date, we've hired about 20. Not only are we supporting our customers by hiring US-based go-to-market engineers, but we also have about 10 contractors in Latin America that are supporting different customers at a much more cost-effective rate. If you're struggling to hire a go-to-market engineer, look no further. I can assure you we're the best go-to-market engineering recruiting business in the world. And if you're struggling to find this person, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or I'll drop my cell phone below in the description.